Alrighty, fellas, what do you say we go ahead and get started? Yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski. Welcome back to another PokeMMO stream recap, your daily source of PokeMMO news, tips, tricks, questions, FAQ stuff, what is happening every single day inside of PokeMMO, inside the community, inside the game, potential updates, suggestion box stuff, community posts. We cover it all here. Catch events, official things coming up, and we do have some events to cover. Let's go ahead and jump into it. This is stream recap 400, which is crazy to think about. Why did I do the wrong button? Anyways, stream recap 400. We still suck at what we do. We try our best, get a little bit better every single day. Okay, let's jump into it, dude. The Safari Showdown. This is a weekly event. If you don't know, a weekly unofficial event means that it is held by a player, by Pokedex, who's just trying to give back to the community in this sort of downtrodden time, in this sort of slower time in Pokemon, while we are in the update waiting room. I think a lot of people, realistically, we're in the update waiting room, the event season waiting room, the Halloween event waiting room. I get it, dude. I get it, dude. And Pokedex gets it. And that's why he's been hosting a Safari Showdown event every single Saturday where you do a catch competition, a catching contest, followed up by a raw caught PvP tournament. So you catch Pokemon for an hour, I believe, and then you play PvP with those Pokemon you just caught, which I think is a lot of fun. You don't need to be good at PvP to really participate in this. It's just for the fun of the game and for the kind of that very old school, very traditional Pokemon feeling of just catching wild Pokemon and battling with them. No EV training, no ability changes, like he says, no items, like no IV breeding, no leveling. Like, it's just really raw, fun. It feels like traditional Pokemon you would play when you were a kid, you know, which is kind of a cool thing to go back to it sometimes, right? He gives away donor statuses, vanities, shiny charms, competitive Pokemon, all sorts of really cool things. Sweets and ocarinas, richest charms. It's free to enter, from my understanding. It happens every Saturday at 5 p.m. UTC, and he always updates in this forum post which Safari Zone it's going to be in, but it's always in a Safari Zone. So check out that event if you have the time. Next up, we do have some new catch events to cover, okay? There were some new catch events posted, but this is one I've covered before. Friday on the 10th of October at 2 p.m. ET, at Route 201 in Sinnoh, there is a 1-hour catch event for Bidoof, Starly, and Mime Jr., with nature bonuses being +3 for all of them. Jolly, Naive, and Calm. And the prize is a 6x31, or you can go 6x0 if you really want to. 6 selectable IVs for Turtwig, Chimchar, and or Piplup. Next up, Petalburg Prison. New catch event. This is new as of, I believe new. Was this posted a while ago? How did I miss this? I don't know. Anyways, this is on the 12th of October. Somehow I must have missed this. 12th of October, Sunday, 2025, yeah. At 3 p.m. ET, Petalburg Woods in Hoenn. You have 1 hour to catch Tailo, Shroomish, Slackoth, Trico, Wurmple, Zigzagoon, or Poochyena. A lot of Pokemon and some pretty crazy species bonuses. You see Talos and Shroomishes being +5, but Zigzags and Pooches being -10. This could be an interesting event to go for a 4th place for. Also, nature bonus is +5. This seems like, if I were to guess, this seems like a synchronize with the nature bonus, synchronize adamant, and then like nest ball kind of event, but I'd have to go through and calculate everything. I always use PokeMMO Hub is a website, PokeMMO Hub Catch Calculator, if you want to pre-plan for catch events like this and figure out what's going to be the best strategy. I recommend it. Nest balls, if you can afford them, are really good, but False Swipe Pokeball, hard to go wrong. There's a shiny Tailo up for grabs for this event, which is a really beautiful, underrated shiny, dude. Shiny Tailo. Very fucking pretty, very cool. Shiny Swallow, fantastic. Banger shiny. Next up, talk about banger shiny that a lot of people hunt for. Talk about a single encounter shiny that is like an uncommon encounter, a pretty decent, I would say decently difficult single encounter shunt. That is just, you could just win one for free from a catch event. These are the best kind of catch events to go to, the best kind of prizes. Sunday the 19th of October at 2 p.m. ET at Route 9 in Unova, you could win yourself, you could catch some Ponyard, Duosion, Garbodor, Liepard, and Minccino. Adamant is the +5 nature bonus, and win yourself a free gift shiny Ponyard. I think that this is going to be a very competitive event, if I were to guess. People really like shiny Ponyard, shiny Bisharp. It's kind of a fan favorite. It's not a huge, I'm not a huge fan of it personally. The little blue guy grows on me more and more every day, the Ponyard over the Bisharp, in my opinion, honestly. But a lot of people love this event. This is a very fucking cool one. Definitely try to make it if you can. It's on a Sunday, so it's a good time frame for a lot of people. Next up, Also, it's the best time to win a free RP. Win free RP before event season. They almost always drop limited vanities during the event season, like that are in the RP shop. You can pick up, especially for an Iron Man account. It'll be one of the rarest things. I can't wait to see how many Iron Man, or if any Iron Man, can get the new like holiday RP items, or what Iron Man can get, how many Iron Man can get like the ultra rare vanities from the sealed product. This event cycle is going to be super interesting. Next up, Chinese catch events. If you don't know, I've been covering these recently. These are mostly relevant for Chinese players or Australian players, anybody in an off time zone where you can't really make the traditional catch events. These are the best ones to keep an eye out for, and they're harder to find on the forums for whatever reason. This one is on the Friday, October 10th at 1600 Beijing time. Just Google 600 Beijing time to my time zone if you're curious of what time zone it is for you, if that works for you. This is like 4 a.m. my time zone. I cannot make these, but they're for a certain player base. The Hoenn region, Route 104. Marl is the only Pokemon you're catching, and there is a shiny Marl up for grabs and some free RP. Anybody can participate in these if you can make the time, right? Next up, a Slippery Boy catch event or a Scraggy catch event on Saturday, October 11th, 1600 Beijing time once again. Unova Route 18. Slippery Boy or Scraggy is the only Pokemon you'll be catching. I love the translation for this one. These are just roughly translated via Google Chrome. And there's a shiny Scraggy up for grabs. You can make it competitive. This is a decent raid Pokemon. Scrafty has been used in the past in raids. Not like a amazing lot, but like pretty good as a dark type attacker, pretty good as a fighting type attacker. It's a little slow for what it is, but it has been good in the past in certain raids. It's a decent like 4th, 5th, 6th pick option in my opinion. Next up, the Team Mr. 9th Shiny War continues, and I have not checked what's been happening over the past day or so. There are 4 days left in this Shiny War. It's always like crazy to me how tight every Shiny War is in Team Mr. and even the official PokeMMO Shiny War. It really shows good balance, and it shows good dedication of players all around. This didn't always happen. I can speak from experience in the old school RuneScape community. This did not always happen, dude. In the old school RuneScape community, actually was something that really bothered me. No disrespect, I love those. They're some of the biggest grinders I've ever met in my entire life, but the old school RuneScape community was a lot more cut their losses, I would say. In old school RuneScape, and maybe because it's hours based, there's less RNG, but in old school RuneScape, if a team was behind by enough hours in a fantasy EHP week, which is a lot of gibberish you don't know what I'm talking about, which is, but anyways, if an old school RuneScape team was down enough points, they would just give up. They would call it, and they would be like, let's get them next week, because it was a multi-week thing. Maybe that's why, versus like the Shiny War is like only 7 days and that's it, so maybe, but like, it's just interesting. Shiny War always seems so well balanced, whereas I've played competitions like this in other games and they weren't this well balanced. There was always give and take, and there was always like some teams would just give up super early on if they fell behind. You don't see this a lot in PokeMMO, and I do love that. I do absolutely adore that the PokeMMO community never wants to give up, and I had not seen this. This is a live reaction the same way you guys are seeing it. Warwick got a Shalfa Zorua to bring Team Phoebus up to that 11 point gap. I had not seen that. Holy crap. Warwick got a Shalfa Zorua. Congratulations. One of the most beautiful Shalfas you could possibly get. 20 points. Look at that points, dude. 20 points. Amazing shinies. Oh, look at Ninetales getting the Corphish. That almost feels like BM towards Team Corphish to get their mascot as the shiny. I hope it was, man. Also, I love Shiny Surskit. Underrated shiny, man. Love Shiny Surskit. Dratini is awesome for coffee. Love Clamperl. A lot of great shinies. We were talking about before the double Safari shiny Apoms that were lost back-to-back on Team Corphish, and the fact they're still in the lead after losing those two back-to-back shinies is insane. And look at all the shinies they've gotten since then. The Seviper, another Corphish, the Krabby. They love going for these fishing ones, I guess. I guess with it's interesting. Oh, I didn't even think about this. The Shiny War meta probably has changed so much because of chum buckets. I bet you chum buckets fishing is just probably better than single encounters now. No, it depends on, I guess, that's actually kind of insane. That's kind of crazy. Anyways, that makes fishing way more viable, which it hasn't been for a long time in Shiny Wars, so it kind of spices things up a bit. I love Shiny Spoink. Super underrated. Honestly, I've never seen Shiny Sewaddle like this. I'm kind of coming around, dude. Kind of underrated. I don't like the evolutions, but Sewaddle, I like that little mint green it's got on its leaf. A Litwit from Pookie. I love a Frillish from Ginger Matt, and look at this. A single encounter Marl. I wonder if this is some point bonus. 7 points. A Marl from Hulk. So really, I love keeping tabs with, even though I'm not playing this shiny war, I love keeping tabs on it and seeing what's going on and who's getting what. Next up, a more serious post. I'm going to try to twist into a good luck because I am reaching a point of, I think this post is going to cover it to some extent. I think people do, and I reach this, there's a certain element of fatigue when it comes to fighting the good fight. And if you want to advocate for something in PokeMMO, I love the game. I think taking the game seriously is important, but at the end of the day, it is just a game to some extent, right? To all extent. And I think there's a certain point where you need to like just play the game and have fun and acknowledge that fighting every single day is not something that is healthy in my opinion, but it's up to you. I don't know if you enjoy it, I guess more power to you. I think it's good to choose your battles and always voice your opinion and fight the fights you feel like you need to, but then move on, in my opinion, is healthier than... For example, I hated when they added mysterious balls, and I've actively outspoken against that. I really don't like mysterious balls, right? Imagine if every single day I just came on stream and talked about how much I dislike mysterious balls. That would be lame. Why not? At a certain point, you've got to just accept they're in the game, they're here, they're not going anywhere. Let's play the game that you do love. It's one flaw. You can't focus on the negatives every single day. In a world full of positives and a world full of beauty. Yes, there are negatives. Yes, there's positives. You got to choose your fights, choose your battles. But let's talk about this post by LSA, who has been putting a lot of effort and earnesty and love into the Pokemon community recently, in my personal opinion. The power of community is the title of this post. If one opposes you, 2 will throw rocks at a person. If there are 2, 4 will throw rocks. If there are 4, then 8 will. If there's 1,000, then the entire village will fight back. Right? Question mark. I don't know this reference, but hell yeah. As a community, our strength lies in our numbers. And recently I wrote a thread about communication. I already covered this thread in a previous stream recap called like we got to talk about it. I think most people who saw this said, I hope it worked, but we don't expect much, and there isn't really much we can do. I hope he's about to say like how defeatist this mentality is and how unhealthy this mentality is. I think this idea, however, gets contradicted when you have the whole community fighting back against temporary incubators and the delay of Shiny War. I see this as an example of our voices being heard. Yes, we have active examples. Some of the first times in PokeMMO history, we as a community stopped updates, and we as a community were like, hey, developers, we really don't like this. And they were like, oh shit, let's pause. And like that's never really happened before until like this past year, which is like communication's getting better. It is getting, but we have to see that, right? I don't see how these examples wouldn't give anyone hope. Yes, bro, fucking fight the good fight, LSA, let's go. I think if we use our numbers as a community, we can potentially be heard. I think if you are a developer, you do in fact care about your player base. Absolutely, you have to, dude, right? Like, we can do this correctly. We don't have to, but it's hard not to some extent. We can be heard, and we can get something we want, and perhaps better the game as a result. I do think using the forums to communicate is effective. I think the devs do read like all the forums, like a lot of it, if not most of it. I do not think there is I do not think there has been a serious movement. I kind of agree, and I you know what, I think there's even a good critique to be made that I'm not doing enough. I think there is a good critique. I come on and I talk every day and I facilitate the discussion. And to be fair, I have hosted riots. I've done some things in game, but I could do more things. And to be fair, that's what I'm trying to move in that direction of more organized, more organized. Rebellion sounds so edgy, but more organized. Protesting, more organized protesting. If they add temporary incubators, for example, I've talked about I am gonna take a 1 week like what's it called, boycott, like break from the game. That's just a personal choice. If you guys want to do that alongside me, I would greatly appreciate it. I think that shows the numbers, but I think the #1 English speaking PokeMMO content creator actively boycotting the game for a week alongside the community, some people have said that it won't be that effective. I think it really shows. It shows them how many people are serious about it, and it shows them how many people will stop playing the game if they continue to put out what we think are bad updates for the game, right? I think it does. Voting with your wallet is probably one of the most impactful things you can do. I think when you start saying things like, oh, these things don't work or they aren't effective, I think we're diminishing our power and victimizing ourselves in a way that I don't think is in my personal opinion, is not true. Okay, let's finish reading his post though. So maybe we should make one, and if people opt in, it doesn't work, well then fuck it, we tried, I guess. Yeah, based. I respect it, dude. What should we want? Well, there's a lot of concerns / inquiries that haven't been addressed over the years. Yeah, absolutely. Wishing stones being a big one. We have no idea what development thinks about the state of the game. Box trading, alpha market, egging, and insert feature here that I can think of. I imagine there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. Yep, absolutely. So we can get a dialogue going and try to see eye to eye. I think the most appropriate thing we could try to work towards is encouraging the developers to do an AMA on the forums if we want to have a dialogue about the state of the game. I think this is the first step. We have a lot of questions, we want answers, so we're trying to figure out what's going on to get a dialogue going here. What are we going to do to achieve this? Movements start with one person and more people slowly joining it. That means you. If you are not content with how development has been communicating, you should be doing your part, even if you think that there's nothing that to be done. If you genuinely have given in to nihilism and cynicism based, not giving in part, but calling it out, because I think a lot of people have, then from your POV there should be no reason not to do your part. It's not like you have to do much and you don't really have anything to lose. We have everything to gain from organizing in such a way. We should try to make something happen. I would rather die trying and regret that. That based, unbelievably true. So what the plan is, it's a very, I think this, it sounds minuscule, but I think it's a very small, reasonable, peaceful protest, okay? What Alice wants to organize is changing your profile picture on the forums to the Mad Turtle. That's all this is, which I think is kind of, you know, cute, but I think it is kind of effective, man. People, we underestimate how effective social waves and just getting people talking about things is. When development sees the forums, they should see a bunch of Mad Turtles staring back at them. I think the Mad Turtle communicates just exactly how unhappy we are, and we need to show it. Avoid getting distracted. Now, this is the one point I think I do kind of disagree on. Let's talk about this. Avoid getting distracted. I tend to notice that we can work together on things such as temporary incubators and the shiny delay, but either people's feelings, thank you for the super chat, bro, thank you so much. People's feelings die down, or we get distracted on stupid such as foot pedals. Okay, that's kind of based. This shouldn't be something that just blows over. It's a give and a take. It should be something that we have in the back of our mind, but you can't solve the world every day, and you can't, you know, you got to live your life and have fun and enjoy. I think sometimes we get too stuck on trying to we got to enjoy ourselves. We need to keep at it even during the event season. I don't agree with. I think I've said I would love to host a riot in game, a protest in game. If they don't nerf alphas or adjust the market in some way this event season update patch in February, in March, I'm going to be rioting. I'm going to be protesting in game, maybe even like long term. We'll have to see. But I want to give them a chance. I want to give them an opportunity to actually make the changes aside from just getting mad right away, right? If it'll really make you angry, allow me to remind you that you need, when you distract by something, you're basically this one who matches the watches the mainstream media, today's modern leads. I think this is a little too much in my opinion, but that's just me. Constant discussion. Once again, I think I disagree about every day we should be posting about things we want to hear. I think this is exhausting. I think this is too much. I think this is unreasonable for the average person. I think it's important to talk about things maybe like every other week or every month, like once a month. If you have a problem with something in PokeMMO, I think discussing it once a month, calling all the problems, making a video on it, you know, moving on is important. I don't think you can be complaining about something every day and expect meaningful change. In my opinion, it actually devalues it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf. Imagine you're a developer and imagine the player base is complaining every day about something else, right? Like that's what happens in PokeMMO is every single day we complain about something else, and it puts a bad taste in the developer's mouth where it's like, okay, well, which problems are real, which aren't, because there's always something to complain. There will always be something to complain about. So we have to choose our battles and figure out what is the best thing to really fight over, give it a solid week of fighting, and then move on and then come back to it if you want to, but you gotta go in waves. I disagree with this in a lot of ways, but let's read the whole post. Do you care about box trading? Great, put a suggestion thread. Do you care, do you think screencasting and doing 6 streaming runs at once is not balanced? Make a suggestion thread about it. Alphas, make a thread about it. Why can't we give hidden ability access to Pokemon 1 PvP? I do vehemently agree with this. I don't know, but we should be posting about this as well. Whatever it is you care about, we should not be silent. I agree. We need to be actively talking about these issues. The idea is to be as loud and vocal as, it's a balance in my opinion. I wouldn't say as loud as vocal as possible, but it's a balance. Leave your gameplay experience in the suggestion box. The FAQ in the game basically asks you to do this. If the development is telling you to do this, they're activating the forums, then this matters. If you care about box trading, egging, alphas, screencasts, okay, this is all the same. Yes. Based. I really cannot stress this enough that it's better to do something than nothing. Absolutely. I think these are the best actions we could take. Sure, I know Alisei disagrees with the boycotting stuff, which I respect. I personally believe in it, but I totally get it. It's a valid opinion to not think it'll be effective. I don't think it's really going to make the dent that we expect it will. I don't think boycotting the game for a week is going to do anything. Once again, I personally think that boycotting the game for a week shows more impact than changing the profile picture on the forums, but it's harder to do, and I get that. I think if people, especially people don't spend money on RP, or don't or even just seeing their player base. The devs see their player base numbers. If the player base, let's say PokeMMO gets, we don't know these numbers, but let's guesstimate. Let's say PokeMMO has 50,000 concurrent players, okay, worldwide, not just English and not just US gamers, right? If we could get 10,000 people to abstain from the game, which I think we can do in my community, if we could get 10,000 people to take a break from the game for 1 week, that's that's 20% of the game's player base. That would be a fucking huge hit, bro. If any other company was like, we just lost 20% of our customers in a week, and obviously they'll come back, but that's really concerning that they have this we have the power over them. As the consumer literally has all the power over the what's it called, the product. We just have to have self-control and willpower and actually choose what we vote with our wallet and choose what we buy and choose these things, right? If you're mad about something, just vote with your wallet. You can only use as much as one person, but if we as a collective can really do it, it can cause a lot. It can cause a lot of ruckus and show a lot of power that we have, right? We need a lot. Okay, let's go to we need a lot of people to agree and opt in for that to be effective. I totally agree. I do think, I could be wrong, not to assume too much power of myself. I know I'm just a niche stepping stone in PokeMMO for a temporary period of time, but I do think that the most popular English-speaking content creator stopping playing the game for a week sends a strong message. I think if that happened in any other game, I think it would be a really, really big deal. I have to make sure my wants and desires are very clear when I do that, though. And I think you can't ask for too many things. I think I'll make a post if I do it. It will basically be, I don't want temporary incubators. I don't want shiny hunting to be buffed by hundreds of % in one update, and then something along the lines of, I want a dev blog post. I want a dev blog post at least once every 3 months, just giving us some direction, hopefully once a month, some idea of what are the devs thinking. I want to know what the devs are all of us want to know what the developers are thinking, right? Much longer than a week. I couldn't disagree with this. I think, once again, cutting off a company's a week of, imagine if you lost a week of revenue. Imagine if you lost 20% of a week of your revenue. That would fucking hit really hard, dude. I think boycotting works more than people realize, but it's really hard to do because you have to I think it's a harder thing to do, but I think it's powerful and better. Not to people who just don't care for many reasons. Of course, if you can just get 20% or 10% of the player base, it's a big hit in my opinion. If I was a developer and you told me to book it for a week, I would wait a week for it to blow over. It's only a week. A week goes by pretty quickly. It's played why I disagree with this, but I'm gonna keep reading. All the news developers put out the event season and suddenly, whoa, nobody cares anymore. Surprise, Pikachu PNG. Our main weapon isn't our wallet anymore. It's our voice. I think I disagree with this so much. I personally, you've heard my reasons. I'm not going to go over and over and over again. I think it's the total opposite. I think voices and words are very powerful. Don't get me wrong, but your actions are more powerful than words. Are we really arguing the opposite? In my opinion, I think it's always, yeah. Words are still powerful. Don't get me wrong, but our voices have always been pretty effective. My gun to head take is that if the community likes temporary incubators, they'd be in the game by now. Absolutely. They're not in the game, so our clear message was partially received on that front. I think it can be argued that apathy, nihilism, and cynicism that is in the community is maintained as a divide. I couldn't agree with this more. That players, and I don't even, to some extent, I don't blame them. I've been playing Pokemon since 2013, but I've been on and off, and I've taken breaks. If you've played this game since 2013, no breaks, you probably do develop a sense of apathy and a sense of nihilism of fuck man, I've been here for so long, I haven't seen the certain changes that I've wanted to see. I get it, but you have to, it's an emotional response that you have to logically check and fight against. It is illogical to be apathetic and nihilist and cynical to this degree. Emotionally, it makes sense and it's valid, but it is illogical and it prevents your own achieving the goals that you want to achieve. If this is the case, how would you feel to have fallen in this trap? Imagine it would make one pretty angry. I think this is how we fight back. I think if we actually organize it, we can make a difference. I think it's pretty beautiful. I think it's crazy. Like, I respect LSA so much. Like, the community is talking more than we're getting better and better. There are bright sides. I don't want to just talk about this, like focusing on negative posts like this, but like this post is negative, but also hopeful. I think that's what's beautiful about this. Why I love this post. Why I love what LSA is talking about is. This is a hopeful post. It is a hopeful post. It is a beautiful post. It is something that we all care about, and we may I may disagree with certain things, but it's important to we have the same goal in mind. I think that's really important. I do think, once again, my only concern is making posts like this advocating against boycotting will stop the boycotting from being effective, which sucks. The whole point is we all have to be behind one goal. We all have to like bond over something. So if you're not on board, it gets pretty tough, but obviously that's a thing. I'm gonna go ahead and save this image and change my picture on the forums to the angry turtle. And the angry turtle doesn't even fully wrap up my feelings about the devs. I love the PokeMMO devs. I'm not angry with them. I'm not angry with the PokeMMO devs. I'm just disappointed, but like unironically. I know it's a meme, but like, that's unironically how I feel. I'm not mad at them. I'm just disappointed. I wish they would communicate. And it disappoints me that they don't communicate. And there's a lot of good discussion here. And look how many people have already changed their profile pictures to the turtle. 1, 2, 3, like 4, 5 different people, I think. LSA again. That's pretty good in my opinion. 6. Angry turtle. I think this is a good peaceful mini protest. I do think that the boycott will be more effective, and I will see you guys if that happens. That's only if temporary incubators come around, in my opinion. That's where we're at. So thanks for listening. I'm hopeful for the game. This should be a hopeful thing. This should be the community is getting together. We're working together. We're communicating. We're trying to solve the problems of the game. And I want us to do that, but I also want us to have fun. I also want us to enjoy the game and highlight the positives. There are so many, I would say, the human brain tends to focus on negatives more than positives. And it is important to it's because it's a survival thing. It is important to focus on the negatives because the positives don't really focus on the positives. If we just focus on the positives, we wouldn't get anything done. I absolutely agree. But if we only focus on the negatives, where our life is miserable and we're not having fun and it's an endless battle, you will be fighting your whole life and never be happy if you only focus on the negatives. So you have to find the in-between of focusing on the positives when they're there and also arguing and critiquing the negatives. You've got to find a healthy balance. I don't think making forum posts every day about this is healthy. I would be careful about that. It's finding that balance. Life's all about balance. We're there again. So that's my thoughts on the matter. Great post by LSA. Much love. I'm gonna change my thing on the forums. Thank you guys for watching this intro to the stream recap. Let's jump into the game. I'm gonna do my gym rerun today. I plan to play some PvP today because there's really good rewards right now. If you're an Iron Man account, message to Iron or even main accounts. Right now, in OU, you can get a free Rocky helmet by only getting up to 560 matchmaking points. That is really low for this kind of item. And 3 rare candies for 80 points. These are really good rewards right now in PvP. I don't know if I'll get all the way to the Ferrothorn, but this, I want to get to this for sure. Also, 10 Focus Sash is pretty relevant on the Iron Man hilariously as well, too. So, play PvP, Jimmy Run, maybe watch some videos, Entei Hunt, things like that. Let's jump into it. Dude, what are the PokeMMO staff members doing? Deus Bruno just scheduled an NU PvP tournament, and this is the art. This is the art he used. It's an NU Steals or Thursday, the 16th of October. Bro's out here using buff, like sexy Bronzor. What the fuck? I kind of respect it. Based. Man, this is just a question, and I'm just gonna give my opinion and my guesstimation. But I'm kind of sad to give this answer. Someone said, "Do you think that this is the year they make raids permanent?" I sadly don't think it will be, but I could be. I would love to be proven wrong. I do think that raids being permanent is one of the most important end game activities one of the most important updates they could add to the game. It adds a sense of a go-to activity to go do for most players. I think it's super crucial. I feel like there were other things that are higher up on the priority list this year, for better or for worse. I think figuring out the temporary incubator situation, following through on the promises they've already talked about. The problem is they're kind of piling up these promises, or at least like things they've discussed that they want to add to the game. They're piling them up, and then none of them are coming out. So that's like the biggest problem. The devs have kind of backed themselves into that corner, and it's something like the wishing stone. Honestly, the wishing stone kind of represents a lot of what the PokeMMO devs, how they operate, and I love them. I'm not trying to, I feel like I'm being so harsh on them recently. But the wishing stone is, if you don't know, the wishing stone is an item. It's an untradeable item it's basically an IOU. It was given to the players for completing I believe it was the Christmas event where it was first introduced. It was first introduced in some holiday event, and it was given to the players basically as an IOU. It's an untradeable item that does nothing. And they were like, you know what? One day it'll do something. And it's now been like 2 years, and it still does nothing. And they ended up doing like 3 different... People have 3 wishing stones on their accounts. Like... And that's kind of been, unfortunately, that's kind of been the PokeMMO like devs, and they've done it to themselves. Like they've kind of been this like promising these things, and then or, like not even promising, but just like talking about these things, which to player base comes off as that, and then just never following through. And I don't know what's going on, but it does weigh on you after a while. That's for sure, man. This is such a fantastic sentiment, and I felt this exact same way in old school RuneScape. And I'm gonna give you I'm gonna tell you my advice, or give you what I did, even though you didn't ask for it. So sorry about this, Tape of Ducks, if it's unasked for advice. Tape of Ducks in chat says, I want to make an Iron Man account, but it feels so daunting. It feels so daunting when I feel like I still have so much to do on my main account. In my opinion, if you feel like you have so much draw and you feel like you still have so much to do on your main account, don't start an Iron Man account. I would not, as much as I love it, I would not recommend it. I would wait. There's never, you know, I think you start an Iron Man account. I had the same exact thought process in old school RuneScape. In old school RuneScape, I was playing my main account and I was looking off into the distance of people like Settled and other Ultimate Iron Man, and I was like, playing an Ultimate Iron Man seems so fucking fun. It seems so cool, but I'm still having so much fun on the main account. I don't want to give that up yet. And there's no reason to. If you're still having fun on the main account, do not stop. Don't give it up, man. Keep playing that. And then one day you might reach a point where you're like, you know what? Like the main account is getting a little old. I would like some variety. Let me try the Iron Man account, see if it's for me. This is exactly what I did in old school RuneScape. And I was like, oh shit. I actually love playing Ultimate Iron Man. Now it's my main game mode. The same exact, it's funny this, I'm doing the exact same process in PokeMMO where like I quit the main account to play the Iron Man. I'm like, this is now my main account. Like I love this so much. It's like, I love both, but this is more enjoyable to me at the moment. Like if you're still having fun on your main account, don't make an Iron Man account. There's no reason to. I would wait, be patient. Don't rush things like that. Enjoy. If you're enjoying a game, just keep enjoying it. You know, sometimes we can't really control. It's like the 2-week Minecraft phase. They're like, if you're enjoying Minecraft, keep playing Minecraft. Don't like, you know, take a break from it. Sometimes you can only enjoy something for a period of time. You can't always control when that period will kick in, if you know what I mean. Really glad you asked that. You brought up that point that I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way that you do. Dude, unironically, I love this so much, Sosa. I have a team that I created for me and my 11 alt accounts. It's super nice to see the little headshots of all the other characters dripped out and my main essentially being the center of the operation. Like, I think that, dude, that to me is like a beautiful, unique way to play PokeMMO. Like, you've made your own little like one-man band. And like you can see your progress in live time, and like that's fucking, I think that's really cool, man. That's a really cool flex. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the Entei hunt on the Iron Man account? I'm going to be popping some of my legendary lures that I have been stocking up for this exact moment. It is October 8th. I only have until about even like October like 24th-ish, 1 week before the event. I'm going to be taking a long break before event season, so I'm fully charged. I am not going to be allowing myself to play PokeMMO for a certain period of time in late October so that I can charge up and be ready for event season. I have to take a manual break. I'm going to go ahead and pop this lore and hope for an Entei. Let's see how it goes. I need to move my swarm Pokemon up here. It'd be amazing to see. This will be a really relevant Pokemon, a really important Pokemon for upcoming raids. It's one of the best Pokemon you can slot in on the Fire Raid team. But not every Iron Man is going to have access to it. You have to find it this month or a previous one. Alrighty, fellas, it is that time again. It is time for either your most favorite or least favorite part of the stream recap. It's time for the MOVIETROUSKI takes. This is where I drop my opinions, my thoughts, my feelings on movies. I am not a movie expert by any means, but I have been watching about a movie or so, a little bit more than a movie a day over the year of 2025. Me and my wife have a pass to our, like a battle pass to our local movie theater where we go constantly. We've seen 10 movies on average a month for the past, I believe, 5 to 6 months. We've seen over 50 movies in the theaters this year. It's been a blast. If you have I can't recommend it. If you have a partner, you both would. If your local theater has this sort of battle pass, season pass, and you like movies, I recommend it. It is a fantastic way to plan out date nights, consistently have those date nights, have someone to talk about. I've loved it. It's been so good for it sounds dramatic, but like not that our marriage needed it, but it's been beneficial to our marriage and our relationship, and it's been a really fun arc, is what I'll say. Okay, well, let's talk about it. I'm going to start from bottom to top because that's the order I watched them in. And some of these movies I have not seen in like 10 days. It's been so long since I haven't been kept up on my Movietrouski take, so apologies. In the Mood for Love. This is like a cult classic. People love this movie. I think this movie, and I haven't stopped thinking about it. I think that's the sign of like a really good movie that stays with you. There are certain good movies that you won't think about like ever again. Like it sounds harsh. We'll get to it at the end, okay? But I feel that way about One Battle After Another. One Battle After Another is it's a very good movie. It's a fun movie. I don't know if I'll be thinking about it in 2 weeks. I think it'll be out of my brain, sadly, right? And that's just how movies are. You can only keep so much. But In the Mood for Love, I feel like is so unique. I will keep that it will stay with me for forever. In the Mood for Love is it's like I don't want to spoil it, but it's like a tragic romance. It's really, really sad. I didn't expect it to. It's a really sad, tragic romance movie, and it's just really beautiful. And it's a lot of body language and non-verbal communication, and that's all I'll say. It's like a cult classic, considered to be one of the best movies of all time. I had never seen it. I finally watched it. I watched it in theaters. The reason I watched it was they showed it at my local theater, so I was able to go watch that in theaters. That was really cool. Next up, Spider-Man 2. I also saw in theaters. My theater did a recent re-release. It was really fun to watch Spider-Man 2. My wife had never seen the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, so I got to show her we watched all 3 Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans in theaters. And I actually think I already did. Yeah, my Spider-Man 3 review is up there. Spider-Man 2 is probably the best Tobey Maguire, probably the best. Spider-Man 2 is probably the best Spider-Man movie, period. I think most people agree on that. I don't think it's like a hot take, pretty cold take, but I think it's true. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It has a lot of meme lines. It's funny because like I think in Spider-Man 2 is that they have like the pizza time when there's a lot of dumb dialogue, but it's so lovable. Spider-Man 2 is like so lovable and so fun. I really enjoy it. Someone says I was always say Tobey Spider-Mans are so perfect comic books. I actually don't like Tobey Maguire is not my favorite Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield is, personally, but I think his movies are the best personally. The goofiness, campiness, yeah. We'll get to like Spider-Man 3 was insanely, dude. It's so crazy. Okay, Choco actually, base, yeah. I think Tobey Maguire has the best movies for Spider-Man, in my personal opinion. But I think, but I haven't even watched all of the Tom Holland ones, so I don't want to hate on something or disregard because it's new. I don't want to disregard that. You don't have that nostalgia, yeah. Next up, The Monkey. The Monkey is like a fun. It was really fun. It was a fun kind of throwaway Halloween movie to put on. Me and my wife watched it together. It was like a 7 out of 10. I gave Spider-Man a 9, by the way. The Monkey, I think it's a fun 7 out of 10, maybe like 6 out of 10, maybe 5 out of 10 the lowest. I give it a 7. I liked it. Fun, stupid little horror movie about a toy monkey. What else can you say? Next up, Good Boy. I watched in theaters. I was really unsure of whether or not I was gonna like Good Boy. It was either gonna thrive or die on its premise. If you don't know, Good Boy is a horror movie told through the eyes of a dog, and that just makes it so much scarier. That premise like makes it so much scarier than any other horror movie in a lot of ways. Not that it is, but like, because looking through the eyes, it's when you're watching like through the eyes of an adult watching a horror movie, you're like, oh, don't go down that alleyway, you know, don't go down that tunnel alone. Like, you get frustrated at the dumb decisions. There is not a single decision you can get mad at a dog for making. It's a fucking dog. It's there to be like cute and innocent, and like, so it's so terrifying to watch this little baby like traverse the world when like creepy things are happening. It's so scary. This movie is all cinematography. It is all camera work. It is all vibes, and there's not a whole lot of plot points. I could understand this movie is not for you and it's kind of boring. I get it. And then you have to like focus on the details and like enjoy the ride, and like you have to immerse yourself in Good Boy. If you are watching Good Boy with the lights on, like at home, like you're just not gonna get I think it's a really good theater movie for that reason. You want the lights off, you want to be in the dark, fully focused, pay attention to the movie, okay? I really liked Good Boy. Good Boy is also a hyper budget, like hyper budget indie film, and I wouldn't have known that without the like reveal at the end. It's crazy. This is probably easily the best like indie film I've ever seen. I watch a fair bit of like dumb low budget indie movies on certain websites because they're always there, and it's like something new you don't hear people talk about, and I like that. But dude, Good Boy is insane. It was literally just a couple that filmed Good Boy with their dog. He's not an actor dog. It's just their dog. And they filmed this movie for like 3 years. And it took like so much time to get all the shots because they were just working with their own untrained dog. Good Boy is really something special. I think it is like the best indie movie I've ever seen, like by far. I think Good Boy is fucking amazing. The directors are just so talented. It was the family. They filmed it. It's literally just a fucking couple. They filmed it in their house with their dog, and that's the whole movie. It's all like it's crazy. It's so genius. They did such a good job. Wow. Anyways, next up, I give it 5 out of 5 and a like. I really liked Good Boy. Next up, My Chair. My Chair is like a 13-minute stop motion YouTube video from a really strange, weird guy on YouTube. His name's like Eric something. He's like a Joel Haver friend. I like him. He's a really weird guy, really strange guy. Reminds me a lot of Connor, not a lot, but like a fair bit of Connor O'Malley and his style of comedy. Kind of niche. If you like it, you like it. If not, I like this stop motion, and this is fucking gorgeous. It's considered a short film. It's like 13 minutes. It's on YouTube, but it's like really high quality. The stop motion's gorgeous. I don't know if the plot is something I really care about, but whatever. Next up, one of the biggest disappointments to me of the year, and I think something that a lot of people aren't agreeing with me on, the Smashing Machine. Dude, I'm gonna read my review. Because I'm just sad. I wanted to. I actually can't believe I didn't like the Smashing Machine. This movie is right up my alley. Like I should love this shit, dude. It devastates me to be writing this review to say that I didn't enjoy this movie. The trailer was so much better than the movie itself, and it also contains most of the plot points. This movie didn't really add that much depth to the trailer itself. This is an abusive relationship movie disguised as a fighting movie. This should totally be my shtick. I love the story, but I was left feeling unemotional and uninspired by the performances, soundtrack, and lack of passion. I think I shouldn't say performance, let me qualify. Dwayne The Rock Johnson does a fine job. I think it's almost hard to tell because the person he's encapsulating just has a very specific style of talking and like very specific mannerisms. I think Emily Blunt is actually the best actor in the movie over Dwayne, but she's missing a bit of appreciation for that. His job is good, but it's almost hard to tell how good it is because of how strange the person is. In Mark Kerr is not strange, but it's just a unique guy, which you have to be on the ground floor of something like the UFC. This movie's about one of the first UFC fighters, to make that clear. Sorry for not saying that sooner. Fighting is all about passion. It's one of the rawest forms of our pursuit of satisfaction and achieving our categorical desires. So why does this movie feel like it is on a neutral tone from start to finish? I don't feel like Mark is a boiling pot of water that's about to burst, as I should. The whole thing just feels shallow and monotone. Disappointed, but glad I watched it. I had to go see this movie. I'm really bummed. I really wanted Smashing Machine to be. A lot of people are like saying it's like one of the best movies of the year. People are saying it's like Dwayne's gonna win an Oscar for it. I left super disappointed. I was in my mind. Yeah, I'm bummed about it. It is what it is. I'm bummed about it. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Next up, Spider-Man 3. I had way too much fun watching this movie in theaters. Dude, and just because I didn't like Smashing Machine, I'm the minority. A lot of people really seem to like it. So you might love Smashing Machine. Don't take my opinion as an absolute amazing review, right? But I thought it was lacking. I thought it was just lacking passion, hard lacking passion. Anyways, Spider-Man 3. Don't get it twisted, okay? Don't get it confused. Spider-Man 3 is an ironic comedy, okay? That's the way you have to think about it. This movie is so fucking funny. It's like a good bad movie. It's so fucking funny at how dumb and ridiculous it is, and all the scenes of him dancing. It is so insane, and it's really fun. Me and my wife could not stop laughing. We were like, I was smiling ear to ear like almost the entire movie watching this in theaters. This was one of the most fun movies I've ever watched in theaters. I gave it now it's a really bad movie, but it's really fun. I gave it a 3 out of 5, or a pretty typical cold take, 6 out of 10. But I gave it a 3 out of 5, a 6 out of 10, and a like, because this was one of the most fun experience, like top five theater experiences of 2025 for me. Once again, having seen over 50 movies in the theaters this year, I thought it was a blast. Next up, Brightburn is a really weird movie. It's a horror movie. I don't know if it was intentionally meant to be like this. Brightburn is like, what if Superman, what if instead of Superman becoming a good guy, he became a bad guy as a kid? Does that make sense? It's a really weird movie. It's kind of like a throwaway horror movie that's like just fine. It's really interesting. It's interesting, but it's not, it kind of falls flat. There's not a whole lot of emotional attachment. It's better than Smashing Machine in my, which is crazy. But I put on Brightburn as a throwaway watch while my wife was out like doing some errands or some shit. So that's, there you go, Brightburn. I give it a 2.5, 5 out of 10. It's like fine. The Goosebumps movie, dude, this is like supposed to be like a kid horror movie, like a, you know, for like young adults, whatever. This was fun. This was just a fun movie. This Goosebumps, the movie from 2015, it has Jack Black in it. It felt very it reminded me a lot of Jumanji. If you like Jumanji, you'll actually love Goosebumps. This movie was like shockingly just fun to me. I ended up giving it a 6.8 out of 10 specifically. It was just fun. I don't have a whole lot to say. The comedy was like way better than I was expecting for a kids movie. Jack Black is so lovable. This was just a really fun little movie to watch in October is what I would say. Definitely add it to your list if you're looking for another October Halloween movie. You know, that's not super scary. 6.8 out of 10. Next up, the final movie, this is the big one. I think the movie that most people are talking about right now in movies is One Battle After Another. I think it is a very good movie. I might just read my full review because it's a very good movie. Let me read my review because I don't want to. It's really hard. You have to like word very carefully here. And some of my movie reviews are a little harsh, so hear me out, okay? I gave One Battle After Another a 9.2 out of 10. It's a good movie, man. I was down to be the hipster hater because it bugs me how much people glaze PTA or Paul Thomas Anderson, the director, or honestly any director at that point, because they're the most inconsistent artists on the planet. No disrespect, it's a really fucking tough gig. I've come to this, my opinion, of like getting really into movies in 2025. I'm pretty new, right? But like, I don't understand why people love directors so much, because for every director that I've seen has like a 1 out of 5 movie and a 5 out of 5. Like I have not watched a director who constantly puts out bangers. I've not found one yet. People always say Tarantino. I haven't seen like Reservoir Dogs. I haven't seen Pulp Fiction. I have to watch more of his movies and maybe I'll get there. But like PTA is really good, but he's not, no director I have found is perfect. Christopher Nolan's not perfect. PTA is not perfect. I feel like I don't understand the love of directors because they're just so inconsistent. I don't understand, in my opinion. PTA is very talented. I loved what Punch Drunk Love, and I loved One Battle After Another. I shouldn't say hated, I really disliked The Master. I thought it was like really unimpressive, and I didn't get what he was going for. Didn't enjoy it. Anyways, let's continue back to One Battle After Another, okay? People glaze PTA like really fucking hard. Like any director, I just don't understand it. That's just me personally. One Battle After Another is very good. It allows for character development first, comedy second, and good storytelling third. I think comedy has changed so much that all like the biggest, most like pretentious kind of movies right now are kind of just like fancy comedies. I feel like for a long time, like comedies were like the like less than genre and people belittled comedies. I feel like comedies are like super, most of the big movies are comedies. We just don't want to call them that. And it's kind of funny to me, in my opinion. Anyways, the whole story in One Battle After Another, aside from the initial prologue, takes place in like a 24-hour period, yet it's a 3-hour movie, which really shows the patience and respect to let the characters develop, the unique twitching from the villain to show he's like a Weasley little insecure rat under this tough guy persona, Leonardo DiCaprio's tweaking to show his desperateness to be a good father, even though his brain is cooked, Willa's fierce bravery in the face of hardship met with fetal position cries when she has a moment to herself. Every single character is nuanced and fleshed out. Let me check this Chansey one sec. This movie touches on the rough world a previous generation handed down to its current generation, yet its earnest attempts to fix it while also referencing the ridiculousness of the old revolution versus new revolutionary dynamics. Like, the whole time you're fighting this moral struggle of, well, damn, these guys are pretty extreme, and that's not normally very good, and they shouldn't do that. But like, holy fuck, these guys are like 10 times more extreme. I guess you got to fight back somehow. What are you even supposed to do in the situation? You're kind of just fucked. Like, it's a really tough dynamic. I wish, my final thing is, like, I wish I felt more of an emotional connection to the characters. I kind of didn't. I just didn't feel, I kind of just knew they would be okay. I never felt like the characters were in any real danger because the comedy was so high in one battle after another. The comedy was so front forward. I couldn't, like, I didn't really, there was the drama got left by the wayside, in my personal opinion. Some of the most connected I was to into the movie was actually Benicio del Toro's character, and his family had like this like underground railroad operation. That shit was really interesting, and I would have loved to see that like loop back, but they kind of just left it by the wayside and kind of just moved on to like Leonardo's story, which it makes sense. But the most emotional impacting part of the movie like kind of got left by the wayside, in my personal opinion. My wife agreed with that. We talked about that a lot, but she agreed with that. Anyways, that's my thoughts. That's the MOVIETROUSKI takes. Let me know where I'm wrong. Let me know where you agree. Let me know your thoughts. I love, recommend movies. I love watching movies. I'm just a dumb little guy with his dumb little opinions. Thanks for watching MOVIETROUSKI. Alrighty, fellas, and I think that's gonna be the place to go ahead and call it today. I think we're really just an update waiting room. We wanted to, play the game, make our daily progress. We mostly just talked about movies and shit. I'm gonna be so honest, man. That's like the position the streams are at right now, which is just, how it is. With that in mind, I'm probably gonna not stream tomorrow, so apologies for those looking forward to the Thursday stream. I might stream on the weekend though, because of like catch events. We'll see how that plays out. Probably will. Keep an eye out for the catch event streams. Thank you guys for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Dislike if not. Subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO videos. I do upload every single day. Streams Monday through Thursday on 12 p.m. ET, usually. Discord down below, and if you're interested, you want to go above and beyond and support the content, YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal and Venmo donations help out a ton. They all allow me to be here. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for the above and beyond support. Have a great day. Have a good week. I will see you guys probably Friday for a catch event or so. But other than that, have a good one. For now, peace, Reno. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here, and I wanted to take this time to say thank you to everyone who goes above and beyond and supports my channel. Your names are all listed here. You make it possible for me to make helpful and mildly entertaining content for the game that I love and make it available for free for everyone to enjoy. Thank you so much for allowing me to even be here.